This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Call to order. I'm looking at my 400 screens. It's going great. 1, 2, 3. There's not that many people here, so hashing some of the stuff out might be like faster than I expected. So that's great. Maybe we'll have a very efficient meeting. Let's keep the committee updates short unless there's like an actual like issue or like big thing to discuss about your committee. That's it. There's no one from the public here, so I'm not going to take public comment. And I want to move to accept the past 2 months' minutes then. So this is June's. We have the May minutes and the April minutes. I would like to create a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Great. All in favor? Perfect. Great. Matt, yeah. Oh, you're just saying aye. Just instead you had a question. The computer's stupid. Okay, cool. Gemini's not recording, so it didn't hear me say it was stupid. That's it. Treasure.
Okay. Can you pull up?
Yes.
report on the
Yeah.
screen?
That is. I'm sorry, there's 400 emails in here. Just talk amongst yourselves. Great.
This will
Nikki,
be
where's the
open.
share screen button? What did I? Oh, here. I just needed your energy. Perfect. Okay.
Big. Easy to read. Well, just to summarize, not a whole lot of activity. We had another garden fee for $25 that came in on the income side, and we had some expenses this month, which included some purchases that Jane made, some trowels, and what else was it that you got?
The construction bags.
Okay, and also some keys.
Yes.
Sarah purchased. And Brogbrook came out and inspected our watering system. However, I have discovered, I think there's still some leaks out there, and I was kind of
Oh,
noticing it and trying to take note of it. And I'm eager to have one of you, somebody help me to make sure I'm seeing what I think I'm seeing. Because they'll come back and fix it if it need be.
okay.
So year to date, our garden fees are $975, although from what the other Mark has said, a certain amount of that money may actually be donations.
Okay.
And he's got to break that out for me. I mean, I still am a little surprised we haven't hit 1,000 because I think we have all 40 plots are occupied. Am I right?
Yeah, unless you're not including the thistle plots, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
So
They
we,
are
that
all
would, so there's less than 40 actually, or?
Yeah,
Well, I guess it's, I should look at the map. I always have to count by hand. every
Okay.
time.
that would take, this should take 4 offline, so.
Okay. So the money's probably just fine. So yeah, we're still looking fine. We got plenty of money. We have a piggy bank, as you know, and we will use it as needed. Any questions, comments, suggestions? Brilliant insights. We're doing okay, so I guess that's the good news. If we want.
Yeah. And so, is it part of this, I guess, like over time? Are we like how, like we are having to pull out of the reserve fund?
We,
Does
on,
the planner say?
on paper, we would. At this point, it doesn't look like we would need to. 'cause
Oh,
we
I see.
still
The
have a
prediction
balance.
is we would. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the annual budget figures, that's our guesstimate of what we'll spend. If we spend less than that, enough less than that, we may not have to draw on the reserve fund.
Okay, cool.
And sometimes that happens.
Okay, cool.
I mean, Broadbrook, we put down for 400 because I think we thought there'd be more repairs than just their usual. But we've only spent 150 so far. So we may end up having a surplus in that line.
Okay, maybe then we'll talk more at the end, because I think we talked about maybe fundraising, or if it would be fun to like get merch and we could use it to fundraise, but if we're not, I would hate to make people have to pay more for the garden
Yeah.
anyway, so.
Unless you have a project in mind. or something like
Exactly,
that.
yeah, yeah. If we had a project in mind, Ava really wants us to apply for that. For the grant, whatever the grant is called, that's part of the city, the quarterly one. But since,
And that would be money from the city, is that right?
yeah,
So it would just come to us and then we could do it.
do the project. They're pretty
Project.
specific. It has to fit like within a very like strict sort of expectation. Like pretty much anything I brought up didn't fit the description. It's like if we hired a consultant to like help us like with whatever, that doesn't count. It has to be like, I don't know, like we wanted to build a greenhouse. I think that would feel more like something they would fund, but we just don't have the volunteers to sustain that. And so that was most of my discussion with Ava, was like, we need like a way to pay for people to like put more energy in, not like have more projects. So, but yeah, so.
I would comment that
brainstorm on
Ava's
that.
been really helpful in terms of
Oh,
gathering
the
this
best.
information. In the past years, I had to go directly to the clerk's office, or I didn't, but Ted did. And, we always got the information, but I just say, Ava, just tell me, how much have we got and how much have we spent? And she'll always let me know.
Yeah, she's so efficient.
She's very
So
efficient.
awesome. Really good at.
Yeah.
Really kind communicator as well. All right. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's it,
close
unless
and
you
then
have,
stop sharing.
Anything else?
I don't think so. And no one has any questions on this.
I got a comment, this correction, we do have 40 plus that are paid.
Okay,
Okay.
so we should be seeing technically $1,000.
Okay.
in
Right,
income.
because there's 4 offline because of thistle and then the pollinator plot and the other one. Fix that.
And am I gathering that the other Mark is the one who's collecting information about lots now that are occupied and actually the money piece, is he?
I
making
guess so.
sure?
I think he's gonna keep the money organized, because that way it's like, then they're all scanned as well into the drive, I think was the idea.
So he would know that if everybody's paid.
Exactly. And which I realize is kind of good, because there was I was concerned about B2 hadn't been worked yet, and then he was able to see if Vata had
Gotcha.
paid, and then was able then also as the weed inspector to reach out to say like, you have paid but you haven't worked your plot. So I think it'll work. That works. Seems to work. Makes sense.
Fabulous. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's good. Thanks.
Okay, cool. No more treasure. Good. Margie is not going to be able to make it tonight, so let me open her notes. I think they were pretty much that everything's all good, which is awesome. Okay. There are 5 people on the waiting list, some of whom expressed interest in starting in the fall if possible. One is moving here this summer. And the request from Gabrielle told her she might need to wait till the next meeting. Oh, that's the one that was just forwarded to us the other day about. So 5 people on the wait list is actually a lot. We had gone through the entire wait list, and now we're already on the other side of it. And then it looks like there's this. The Treehouse Circle is a nonprofit that is looking to do just some networking connections about like how we could advise them and how they could help us. That might be like a lot for us to do right now since we're like doing a lot of things, but they've reached out to Margie, and so she forwarded it to, looks like everybody on the committee. And that's it. Does anyone have any like concerns with outreach or questions? All right. Operation.
Well, I'll probably mow tomorrow. A couple people have mowed, in the last couple of weeks. Shout out to Norman for going up and buying spark plugs. That in the end, neither of them worked. And one of them, and then I took one back and credited his card. I kept the other one in case it would work. It didn't. So I got another one that was supposed to be compatible. Something with the tip. So anyway, long story short, we couldn't mow. Then Phil came up one day when I was there to mow, and we thought we had it to where it would the cap is coming that attaches to the spark plug is coming off. It keeps coming loose. So finally we're like, okay, we're gonna jerry rig this thing. So we cut some wire off of some of the old stuff from the compost.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
And I got a wrench and everything. Yeah, so when I take it to Flory, we're not gonna claim that we did it. We're just gonna say, somebody did this, we didn't know who.
Oh, good. So
Oh, no.
so it hasn't
I
been
doubt they're gonna watch
serviced
the
yet.
meeting. Pardon?
Oh, shit. So they haven't been serviced yet?
No.
Okay.
So I'll take them up this weekend.
Okay.
And then, cause that just started happening. So, and it's weird. I'm not gonna get into spark plugs right now, but I'm looking at it and it doesn't make sense because the top has thread showing and most spark plugs don't, but it's like the cap won't fit snugly unless the part is taken off the cap. I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm gonna get the guy to explain it to me. up there.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Then I was down because I did a turbo clean my gardens, and I was dumping stuff down at the south end, and people have been going to the left and dumping things. It's kind of split, and I made a little cardboard sign that please only dump to the right, so we can keep some kind of semblance of control over the weeds and where they're going, because I don't want a repeat of the other end that we just cleaned up. And if you're gonna bring weeds to it, please, I cleaned it out pretty far in. So just throw them in as far as you can. Some people just dump them at the
My
very.
hope is we'll get the new compost situation set up, so this won't be, it'll be a non-issue.
Okay, cool.
That would be my hope, but we'll get there. I don't know if it'll be possible or not.
And I don't really have a whole lot else.
Do you think you'll organize a day to train people to use the mower once it's serviced, or do you?
After we service it, yeah.
Okay.
Because I was thinking we could do it this weekend, but I don't want to take it up there. Well, it depends. What time does the work day start?
10 a.m.
10? If folks showed up at 10, even between 10 and 11, because I think Flurry closes at noon. If they showed up between 10 and 11, I just don't want to take it up there hot, you know what I mean?
Well, should I include in the notes that people want to train to use the mower should come at 10, or is that too much pressure to put on?
Yeah, you know what? I'll organize something else because people have emailed me and I
I
can
was gonna
just,
say too, if it's easier to have phone number, you could have a text list.
Yeah.
Versus email.
or I could do just a group email too.
Yeah.
So
Okay, cool. All right, but that's
I
great.
get enough text now.
And so the weed whackers haven't been serviced yet either.
Correct.
Did you bring your own? Is that how?
Yeah,
Okay.
my friend has an electric
I'm
one.
thinking of buying my own, not because I don't love those. They're just not always working, so I'm curious.
Right.
When they
Ryobi?
service them
They're a
this
pain in
year.
the ass.
Yeah.
The Ryobi electric ones, you can
Yeah.
get the whole setup for $99.
Where's
I was
that
just looking at,
Is that?
I don't remember which stores, if it's Lowe's or Home Depot. Only one of them sells that brand, but you can get the charger, the battery, and the weed whacker for $99.
Electric sounds good.
It worked.
Yeah,
I
they
did
work
most
right.
of my plot with one battery.
Ann and B1 has one of those. She likes it.
That's what I use.
And I've got one, I
Yeah.
just bought one.
I mean, I think we talked about it before that we were just like, did we want to invest in a little solar panel to charge stuff like that, but I mean, we might as well if they seem to be more reliable. Like, I'd be
Yeah,
happy to
cool.
look into it.
Yeah, it might be a grant,
Yeah. To charge electric.
and that roof on the shed face is pretty much due south.
It's that time of the world in the history.
And we'll just go with the Uncle Russell's and charge a battery there and come back.
We could do that.
Drink a cider slushie.
Any other operations?
I'm trying to think, but I don't think anything else really.
I got one thing to add.
Yeah.
Just hoses, back to hoses and nozzles, because when I was
Yeah.
checking out the watering and the leaks and all that, I was kind of assessing if there were still nozzles that weren't working as well as they should. I'm
Okay.
kind of under the impression that everybody has a nozzle, is that,
I haven't heard anything yet, but
but I saw a couple that were kind of weird, so I took notes on that. And similarly, I think it's D12 or something, doesn't have a hose, it's just a spigot there. So I think we should, and I talked to Jane a little bit about that, and
Yeah.
she said, go ahead and charge some if we need to buy some.
There was one on every one at the beginning of the year, because I set everything up.
yeah, okay.
I've had to borrow once the last couple times, a nozzle.
Oh, yeah,
Not a
okay.
hose- not a
so we
hose,
need
but a
one.
nozzle,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, Margie doesn't have one too, I know that, she doesn't have a nozzle, so.
that's weird. Okay, so we need to buy some, because there's no other nozzles in the shed.
I didn't see
There's
any.
a bunch of them, but
There's like
they're,
the long
they're,
ones.
the ones
Okay.
that are in the shed leak. All the ones that I put up originally did not leak, and there was hoses for all the,
So do we need to buy another hose?
It seemed like there was one,
Yeah, we had hoses on everything.
everything. We had 11 hoses. Didn't we?
okay, well, I'll double check. If I find one that isn't there, I will
Yeah, purchase.
let you know or I'll just
Okay.
buy one.
I was also gonna say, I'm like, that could be, I don't know, the workday, if you could just check and see if it just needs to be hooked up. Maybe somebody thought you're supposed to put it back, like the entire hose, like that
Oh,
would be,
and the shed,
yeah,
possible, but
I haven't noticed.
But I hooked up all the hoses, like on the very first work day, they would just, somebody laid them all out, I hooked them all up, and then I tested all of the nozzles, and all the nozzles that I put on all the hoses worked fine and didn't leak. There are a bunch of hoses, nozzles in the shed still that leak a little, but they're workable, so if one breaks, you could grab it, but we don't have any backups that don't leak.
Well, I would be fine then with,
Purchasing.
yeah, Mark, if you're comfortable after,
Yeah.
since you've checked some of them, go ahead and buy whatever.
Yeah.
Does
I
anyone
mean,
have like?
You
a
gonna be there
purchase
Saturday?
for
Or
it?
not
I
sure?
don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check again. I'll have somebody else double check with me
Okay, cool.
and,
Oh, yeah, probably will actually.
Hmm?
They probably will.
yeah, okay. Yeah, we can take a look at that.
Sorry, I keep yawning. I apologize, but,
All right, you get up early.
yeah, it's true.
I do have
Yeah,
a couple, these are more observations. And I can tell Mark, because he's a weed inspector, the other Mark. We'll call him Mark Weed.
yeah, there we go.
Somebody's planted mint in their garden and we need to tell folks that they can't do that. So we can have mint in containers, but not in the ground because they take over everything. And I've seen thistle in a couple of plots. Actually, I will let those folks know. I'm not gonna tell them, call anybody out.
I think I'm gonna
It's around.
create a new, I don't know if this, I'm gonna go and just say it now, might as well. After talking with some of the people who've dealt with Canadian Thistle at with the veterans organization, the pulling is bad.
Right.
Or not very good. The clipping is better. So for people whose plots it's in, I'm gonna start advising they just do the clipping method, where if you just keep clipping the top slightly below the surface, it will eventually kill the root system. Whereas every time you pull it up, you're just risking the multiplying from happening to happen. But the mulch areas, I think people can keep doing whatever, since there's so much mulch, it's like
Mhm.
easier to spot, but some in the new, where it's spread in a new way, I think I might advise they clip it instead. But that, I think we really do need to redo the guidelines for the gardeners this year, so that can go out with new gardeners, because that says like, you can't plant mint and things like that, but
Bee
it's
balm.
very out of date. And like we haven't voted, or we've talked about wanting to change some of those policies like that. Says like you can't bring a dog, but we've also talked about like you can't. So the guidelines, you know, I guess I'm out here at every meeting being like, who wants to replace me? Who wants to do a governance thing? Who wants to do these things? And if no one wants to, it's totally fine. But I don't know, the guidelines, I feel like it would be nice to have those redone. At some point. I should reread them anyways, I'm curious. Okay,
Okay, now I'm done.
all right, cool. All right, let's go to pollinator.
One other thing
Yeah.
about picking up stuff from Abishans, got that from Ava. Always tell them that it's for the garden committee, because that's the pass of the watchword. It used to be a specific guy.
Yeah, the person at the counter asked for a specific guy, and I was like, the garden. I just like, yeah, I was like, okay,
Ava says that's good enough.
cool,
Yeah.
great.
Because I said, I said I'm with the garden committee and the Easthampton garden committee, and I said to put it under DPW. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she said, what's the guy's name?
You said the garden.
No, I don't know. I think you told me Dan or something. I don't remember now.
It must have been that.
But I
Yeah.
said, I don't know.
I think Abishan used to know who it was because there's cities. Okay.
But it went through, right? Yeah, so.
All right, pollinator.
Okay, so, when I went to Flurry's to get the wood, they said that someone from the DPW has to tell them that it's okay for me to pick up the wood. So shall we ask Eva?
Yeah. Do you let
I
me
can
email
ask
her? I'll CC you. So,
They have it in stock. As soon as they get permission, I can just pick it up. And I did get some herbs. So, Mark, do you want their receipt? Yeah,
Thank you.
but I haven't spent too much of anything.
okay, I'm just gonna email her right now, so I forget. Bobby has placed order for query. Any other updates on that? While I'm typing, okay.
No.
And they need someone to.
Yeah, they gave me they wrote it all out. They gave me the estimate. And hopefully if the person from the DPW contacts them, then they know exactly what we're talking about.
Hopefully, I'm not gonna reread that, hopefully that, it doesn't have any huge typos, I said what I need to say, okay, great, cool. That's awesome. So are you gonna try to do that at the workday on Saturday, or you're just picking up for your pleasure?
Well, this building is closed on Fridays
Yeah,
anyway, so we're not gonna get permission.
who knows, Ava works from home, I have no idea what her schedule is, so.
Well, first I have to know that the permission has gone through, and I go over there and pick it up.
Okay,
And I
cool.
have, and I do have someone who's wanting to help me,
Okay, great,
so we can do that.
so maybe not this workday, but yeah,
It's too small,
okay.
beds this time.
Okay, cool. Well, that's exciting. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the parking lot garden. Mark's not gonna be here for the workday. So, that project looks great. It does look like there's some flowers in there. It looks really nice.
So how will I know? I mean,
I just CC'd you, so I'm able to just respond to both of us and say, oh, I'll call them or, whatever. You'll
give me
see
a
it.
little timeline.
Yeah. Sometimes, you're right that they're closed tomorrow, but I'm trying to think, sometimes Ava gets back to me like so fast, so she might get back to us now. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we can move on to events. Mel, talk about this Saturday. What are you thinking?
There's gonna be a work day this weekend. It seems like it's gonna be kind of small, based on what I've heard, but we're gonna do 10 to noon. And the weather looks okay. I think we'll go for it, even if it's a little cloudy and a little drizzly. If it's like full on raining, we'll send an email out. But it looks like it should be fine until about noon, so I think we should go for it. And if you have specific projects you want us to tackle, feel free to let me or Ryan know. Otherwise, we'll work on general mulching and weeding and checking the hoses and nozzles.
I did want to say, since this was like a pretty big goal and it has already gotten pretty overgrown back there, do you think it would be possible to email some folks who have trucks and maybe focus on getting the garbage behind the
yeah.
shed before it gets even more thick with vines and
Yeah.
hard to get to?
Great. So taking care of the trash behind the shed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and organizing the trash they found in the compost pile when they moved it. Like some of that I think is stuff we can use, but it was raining and it
Yeah.
had been like many hours. So maybe just like seeing what of that should save and what should be tossed.
And if we bring it to the trash, is there a specific place? Like if we go to that place in Easthampton, is that something that could get reimbursed?
Definitely reimbursed.
Okay.
I might even just try, I mean, we don't have an account with them, I guess, but I'm like, wonder if you said we were with the city. Has anyone brought stuff to the dump before?
No, but I mean, me saying I was with the city didn't impress them at all at Flurry.
Yeah, well, which is weird because we've worked with them before, but
To the dump.
Which dump are you talking about?
just the city dump. You see,
The one in Easthampton,
if we've
if it's like a bag of trash, it's normally $3.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I don't
Down
have a pulse
here.
on how much trash we're talking, but
well, my sense is it's going to be a lot because it's like it's actual like waste. It'll probably have to be like they might weigh the
They
car
would.
kind of thing. You can definitely get reimbursed if you get to that point where you're like, no one feels. I don't want anyone to feel like they have to front that kind of money.
yeah.
Then we can just abandon the project.
Please clean it up and then
yeah.
we'll see based on who's there and who has a truck and if anyone's willing to pay for it.
Because I don't want to mess up our like budgeting necessarily, but I do wonder the you know, just email Eva again, if we have like any connection with city.
Okay. Let me know what you find out and at the very least we'll clean it up. Are there any other projects that people would like extra help with?
So can we start looking into getting another load of wood chips?
Yeah.
We did. I placed the order like 3 weeks ago
Okay.
with Christine.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, but Christine just had said it takes a long time because like we're not their priority on their list. But she did say that that's like the best mulch, like since we went through trying other places that wasn't as good. So my hope is it could come anytime. But yeah, we're coming up on another work day.
If we don't do it this month, we'll do it next time.
Have we decided where you would deliver the new mulch? Or it's
We
not
just
where-
decided to keep using that same pile. Yeah,
Not where the compost is.
no,
No,
but where
it's on the
the
other side.
jumping worms are,
The old.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
which should be fine. A bit of a bummer, but hello again. What am I? Oh, does the DPW have a connection to the dump?
Well, it's not the same as Valley Recycling, is it?
Yeah. The place. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause if there was metal, like, we could just take that down to the transfer station. Down, 10, and it's free.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah, they
can
make
be
money.
recycled.
Like the worst type is. Okay. Cool. The other projects I guess I had is if we did want to start the new compost pile system, that would be great. But I'm like, honestly, I feel like getting everything behind the shed is going to be like kind of a huge task. So that might be just what we should focus on, unless it's like too awful and no one is feeling comfortable doing it. Because I'm worried about poison ivy and all sorts of stuff behind there, I guess, like
Ticks too.
and ticks.
I'll see what I can do about mowing up in there as far as
Well,
I
be
can.
careful. There's just a lot of crap.
Probably a
You
one.
know, I'll walk it before I mow it.
Oh,
Poison ivy plant.
oh, okay, cool. Well, okay. That we were gonna use the vinegar with. So that I'm gonna just write a note to come back to. The poison ivy plant that's in by the water, turn off and on. I'd rather, it's a very generous offer. I'd rather no one have to touch it with their hands, or like their gloved hands or anything. Um, so I think, did that vinegar ever get purchased that you'd recommended, like the special vinegar for pouring
There
on
had
everything?
there had been a jug in there, but I don't know that it lasted over the winter.
Mel, do you have time
Oh,
to
yes,
stop by
it's there.
Aubuchon and
Is there one
charge it?
there?
Yeah. I was questioning why is there vinegar there? There's a jug.
It
Okay.
should be 30%.
Yeah, it's,
Great.
it's.
So
like
you
a
can use it
half gallon.
plain and just spray it
Just,
or?
pour it
diluted?
I
on
just
the,
pour it at the, around the roots.
okay,
Yeah.
let's,
That's nice, isn't it?
and then, actually, Mel, do you have time to go to the hardware store? Is this something that you could do?
I could go Saturday morning if it's open.
I
I
was gonna
don't have any time tomorrow. I'm
There's no rush for it. I guess I just don't want to delegate something. If you can't do this, no problem. But if you do have time to go to the hardware store, getting just a spray bottle that we can tie to the shed so that whoever's over there, whenever they see it, can just spray it.
I might even have one at
But
home.
Okay.
we need to be careful because 30% vinegar will burn your skin.
Lovely.
So, I mean, you know, it will really irritate it.
Well, could we label the bottles to say that? too?
I label mine,
Okay.
yeah, but big labels.
So this is different than cooking vinegar.
Oh, that's 5%.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Totally.
So-
Okay.
So this is very harsh.
So it's not like the gallon jug.
It's a gallon jug.
So just like the vinegar that you buy in the store?
Yes, that's why I label mine at home, so nobody thinks, oh,
Oh.
this is a gallon jug of
I use that
5%.
as cream rinse sometimes. Yeah, it's an old cosmetology. It gets all the buildup off of your hair
Oh.
and it makes your hair super soft. You
Oh
just
my
go around
God, that
smelling like,
wouldn't- that
but you have
wouldn't
to,
make
you rinse off, but yeah, no, it doesn't, but you make sure your eyes are closed tight and you go around smelling like a pickle for a day.
It's no big deal.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It makes your hair awesome.
Fix your hair.
You probably don't like it too.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so, can anybody, so does that sound like enough stuff for the workday? Do you
I
feel?
don't
good
think there's
about
gonna be a
this?
ton of people. I've
Okay,
heard a
so
lot of
just-
people can't come.
So if
Well,
people,
rain too.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I think a little bit later in the day too. Yeah, I think we're.
I
gonna
guess,
lock out there.
just see which of those things makes sense. It was just like the stuff by the shed, I guess, basically tidying the stuff
Yeah.
by
I mean,
the
there's
shed.
always tons of weights to pull.
Yeah, okay.
We'll get creative.
Okay, cool. The other question I had, does anyone off the top of the dome have some organizations they know of that I should reach out to like for more volunteers
To do what?
to just start coming to work days? Like if it's like, we were talking about the Boy Scouts or this veterans organization, like they had an event where they needed to volunteer. And so we provided that for them. Like anyone have connections with the high school or that I should be like, oh, these high schoolers need like, I know I needed like volunteer hours for like a academic program I was in to get some kind of certificate. when I was in
Look
high
into
school.
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
Girl Scout, I mean,
Yeah,
they have requirements for their badges.
no one's connected to any like troop. You've got.
I,
yes,
yeah.
you just.
Yeah, I can
Okay, cool.
do, we're actually on Saturday after the workday, I'm going to her little end of year celebration, so I'll check in with them.
Yeah, see if they need an event for, I
Yeah.
don't know, the fall or anything.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then I can
Thank you.
check in tomorrow with the high school to see if there's any
okay, great.
opportunity there.
But yeah, I guess as you come across organizations that I should email, let me know. I'll email them. The bees is the biggest one and I just keep going. Okay, any other events questions? Okay, so the one thing I want to try to talk about pretty efficiently if we can is when that wonderful day watching the tractor move that pile, it was I was
So awesome.
yeah, it was crazy to watch. I mean, I was sort of like being a huge grump, having to stand out in the rain for so long, but it was like also really cool and a lot of really neat conversations. I can talk more about that stuff, but there are two veteran farmers who were there for this like, it's not like a conference really, but it's just kind of a meeting for them, the national organization to touch base with each other about how the different chapters are going and like how to, just their goals and stuff. And then they do volunteer projects. So the two, Lawrence and, oh my God, Richard? Pretty sure his name is Richard, had like flown in and they were so fun. I wish they were local people because they were really like cool to learn from. But they were saying that the soil underneath the compost pile is so amazing that it would kind of be lame to have that then just be covered in mulch and used as our new compost operations zone.
Plant stuff there.
Well, we could plant stuff or we could open up, measure it and open up two more
Wow.
plots. And we have 5 people on the wait list. So part of me would be tempted. They were joking that they're going to be pretty luxurious plots. So I was like, oh, weird. I'm moving like over there. But, I do, it's a great gift for these people who are on the wait list. Sorry for,
Yeah, good soil.
sorry, everyone who's new, I guess. But is anyone opposed to that idea?
No, is there enough for 2 plots?
I think so. We would definitely have to measure. But
That
I think
area
so.
there,
Well, that's
pretty
close
big.
to where the thistle pops up too.
Well, this is the thing. The more I talk to them, the more I'm like starting to be tempted. We should just open up the thistle plots next year. I think we actually do have it more managed than we realize. But that like I want us to really talk about. I know we're all like nervous because it got really bad. But I do think we could let those 2 gardeners start digging in that dirt next year without too much stress. But so I'm gonna make a motion to measure out the former compost pile on the north side to become 1 to 2 more plots, depending on how big it is. Does anyone second the motion?
I can.
Again, all in favor?
Oh.
Aye, great.
do you know how you want to orient them?
I guess it seems like it's like lengthwise, so it would just become like,
Like a C and D or something like
yeah,
that?
yeah,
C-
It's numbers.
C0,
It could just be
D0.
E, you
Yeah.
can have another
Yeah.
section.
Yeah,
D section.
Oh, yeah.
One
Oh,
and
no, we
E2.
could do a negative number.
that's so good.
D -1,
Oh
D
my
-1.
God, that's funny. But like they're but positive. They're not. It's like actually the better dirt. So I will say it's a little compacted from the
It
tractor,
is
but
from the
and the
tractor.
rain
It would need to be
tilled a little bit.
probably chilled.
Okay, great. So that was easy. So then the next thing we talked about, and this had been brought up a few years ago when we first started talking about the thistle problem, and we just didn't didn't prioritize it in our experimentation. But a lot of weeds grow because they're communicating something about the soil. Like dandelions often grow when there's no nutrients near the top of the soil, so they like grow to pull up nutrients for when they die. So the thistle, because it spread so well and so fast in that area, but we'd noticed it wasn't spreading well or quickly, like in the wetland zone. We're like, why is that? It's probably because of something about our soil is helping sustain them, or it's like, communicating something. So, the local chapter head for this, the veteran farm organization's, chapter, whose name I'm forgetting. He's very kind. They have a connection with UMass where they could
Extension.
probably, what was that?
UMass Extension, they do soil tests.
Yes, but they would do it, I think, in a way that was a little bit more, they would come out there and they would test it for us and probably do it for free because of like, I guess this connection or, I don't know. So I just need to look into that. They said they
Oh,
would
that'd
be
be
happy to
awesome.
do that.
Yeah.
But that would also be something to do with the multifloral rose.
Mhm.
They can test why those are popping up, or the dirt around there, see like why they're popping up too.
They're all over the place. I
And
mean,
their advice with that, because they cut them back, they left them marked. Oh, this was the big workday thing, actually. Sorry, Mel, this is it.
That's okay.
For the
let's hear
multifloral
it.
rose, they cut most of it back, which was fine. And they tried to leave like a marker though, If we could somehow go through and make sure it's clearly marked still, like where each of them is.
Mm.
And, their advice, which I'm starting to agree with, because, watching Ryan single-handedly like dig out the other one, they're kind of insane to dig out.
There's pain, yes.
And since we have so much soil erosion with the turnover of gardeners anyways, I'm kind of like hesitant to like mess with moving the dirt too much more. And so the advice was just keep cutting it down and covering it with mulch until, just like with the thistle, the root stuff.
Mhm.
Which might be something every workday, just go check, just like the paths, like we need to cut those down and cover them. Cardboard, yeah, exactly.
Sounds great.
Okay, cool. And so I need to email what's his face. Sorry, it's on the public record that I called him that. About
Chapter head.
local chapter head about dirt testing. Okay. My notes in these meetings are always so insane to myself. Okay, cool. So the new compost operation zone, does anyone have a suggestion where we could do that? It doesn't need to be too big. All it needs to maintain are 3 or 5 wire cylinders. These wire cylinders won't exist the first month, but over 5 months, they will each exist, because the way this works is you have one cylinder. Let me see, actually just find the compost thing.
So the edge of where we have the plots, that western path, past that, how mucky is that? How wet is that? Like if you step in
Sorry,
there,
which one?
so the western edge of the
Yeah.
gardens.
Yeah.
If you step into,
Like
It's
towards the-
not, it's
towards-
not very
towards
wet.
the west.
It's not wet, yeah, so like towards the bluebird,
Yeah, so if you
Yeah.
step in there, is that,
No.
do your shoes get wet?
no,
I mean, could we just clear, like, whatever's there, goldenrod and some part of the wetland? And then,
The wetland area, I found out, is actually pretty protected.
yeah, you can't go,
So we can't, even though part of it is technically our property, when I asked Ava, if we push all the dirt over there, she was like, we need more, treat it like a buffer zone. It is like ours, but the more we don't mess with that, the safer the wetland, like the more true wetland
uh-huh,
is.
so we don't wanna.
We don't want to start, yeah, I guess.
but again, like how big are these cylinders that we're talking about?
They're pretty,
Like in
part of me would be
diameter?
just more tempted to renovate the south side. So
3 feet in
let's
diameter?
see, hopefully it says in here. Here we go, 3 feet, perfect. So yeah, they're 3 feet, we would need 5 of them, so that's like the size of a garden plot. And the way it works is, so the reason it won't exist until after 5 months is the first phase is like you just like clip one of the cylinders, start filling it with stuff. And then the second month, you unclip that now becomes the second cylinder, and then you start a new one. And so you're always unclipping and starting these different things that are at different points in the process, and they're always rotating in a circle, which part of the process they're in. It's a little confusing until it gets going,
Mhm.
what each one is. And you're always just unclipping, so that way you can turn really easily without it being a container that's like hard to get to. And
No,
then
you
re-clip.
unclip it and you
Turn
shovel that
it.
into a next pile,
Yeah,
and then you start a fresh one with one of those.
Yeah, so number 1 is always gonna be a fresh pile. that you
yes,
started.
yes,
You have-
exactly.
I have a
Right.
question. So how big are these cylinders?
3 feet high, it looks like, and
Diameter's
4 feet. Yeah, so
Yeah,
sorry,
I was
4
gonna say
feet
wider
actually.
diameter would make more sense.
What do we do
I
with
have
the finished
two
product?
thoughts.
We use it, and then we don't have to buy. in
Who
compost.
uses
We
it?
do,
Oh, yes,
Who's we?
the garden.
the gardeners.
We have a lottery.
Because that way, no, this would start to, this would start to produce. Margot did the measurements that it would probably, if we got it going, what she guessed was it would probably produce like 3 inches of compost to cover the entire garden every year. So gardeners could,
Everybody's garden,
the entire garden.
yeah.
So each of us. And so I guess, I mean, the bigger thing with, if we do start to run into an issue where somebody's like not getting enough access to the usable compost, we can figure out rotations, like once it's turned and ready, like, I mean, that's kind of why we need a crew to keep this organized, is like, once it's ready, like, you know, this month it's everyone in road A gets to grab from this all done pile, or it could just be a schedule at the beginning of the year. It's like row A gets it like in June, and then row B, and you know, whatever.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Yeah.
I feel like that 3x4 is kind of small for the whole garden, especially at the beginning of the year, because, and then the other thing is to have to lift up, you know, it gets really heavy when you're weeding and starting, you know, whatever, to have to lift it into the bin. And I think that we produce way more than 3x4. All the gardeners produce way more than 3x4 at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And I mean, it seems like a good idea. I mean, it seems like it would work, but I don't know if it's big enough for.
We could have multiple.
I think, but also like the more that we have in place, the more we're gonna need people to manage it. I think it's wise to start small and see how it goes, and then we can expand.
Yeah. I mean, part of the idea with this is that if it's turned every month, and eventually there are 5 of them, it's a hot compost system, so it'd be breaking down fast enough. But I think to get started, it probably would start kind of clunky with there being way more material than we can
Right, especially at
actually
the beginning of the
process.
season. I mean,
Yeah.
the season goes by, there's not as much, but at the
Yeah.
beginning, everybody has a whole lot, and it's heavy, you know.
Well, I guess, I mean, part of me then is like, if we could find gardeners enthusiastic enough to run this, or if there's an organization that's like passionate about like, like, I don't know, why people like have all sorts of hobbies. Some people really do like compost. If they wanted to like organize this and help us maintain it, that would be cool.
Well, I think
But I don't want to, it's not a project. Does anyone in this room want to head this? I don't think so.
Well, I think I've seen other systems. As a matter of fact, where I work, another place
Yeah.
where I work, we just put in a system of like 3 concrete bays where it's, you just walk into it and dump your, you
Well,
know.
that's what we had before. And at least, you know, again, this is just my friend who like was starting a consulting business who did this plan for us. She was saying like having the way those 2 bins were set up were so big that, and it made sense that it became something that people just stopped ever turning. And then it just became this huge mound.
Right.
So it's just, I think she was trying to make it really small so that way it would actually get like dealt with every month. But we already have a hard enough time getting anything done every month
Yeah.
beyond like what we like need to stay on top of. So, but I am hesitant. I guess what I'll do in the notes tonight is at least say, now the compost at the south side is all that we have. So people need to start pushing it more to the back, but eventually that's going to need to be turned. Like it's the same issue. And I'm kind of nervous about like, if we don't have a plan and no one steps forward, I don't know, like as a garden, like what we're going to keep doing with our compost.
Yeah. And even the stuff that when you put it in, like, let's say we went with this system, you know, when it gets to the end of the season, which is gonna be another lot
Yeah.
of stuff, then you have to cut it up and break it up. You
That was
can't-
Margot's big thing, is she's like, everyone will need to learn how to use a machete or whatever
Yeah.
and actually like do that.
Because like sunflower stalks, I mean, when we first started, you had to cut stuff up like, no, you couldn't put anything in there longer than a foot long. And even that's kind of big, but we had bigger piles. But everything, the smaller stuff is, the quicker it's going to break down, obviously.
Well, we'll keep thinking about it, I guess. seems great.
I know,
He
I think
does.
this seems like a good starting place.
But I'll see if anyone wants to. head
Yeah, I
into
mean,
this.
you need
I-
someone to organize, but then the other part of this too is that people have to just take ownership of what they do. I think that's part of it. You know, I mean, this could work if everybody just understood how it works.
Yes, yeah, it
You
would be,
know,
I think that's why I want someone
and-
to organize it who could come to a meeting like this, explain it to us more clearly than I am, and then consult with the people running the events every month to say like, hey, like I'm gonna show up and these are the things that need to happen, or like here's the crew who's interested in this, they're can't cut, just like have someone who's like knows all about this, and just like the mowing. It should function just like mowing, where someone's in charge of it, so it always gets done. And when it's not getting done and people are confused, they know who to talk to. Which is, it's just coming back to, I don't know how other community gardens deal with this, like how to find sustaining leaders to make these different aspects happen. But I've just not, the only community garden I've ever like worked for was part of a farm, and everyone who ran it was paid. So I don't know. I guess I just need to keep reaching out to more like we're not even a nonprofit. I don't, like what so
Other gardens that I've been at, people took on that role.
yeah.
There were a few people who liked
Yeah.
working with compost.
Totally. Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm just not clear as to, we're going to have to take our wheelbarrows full of compost and throw it over the side?
I mean, if I would
Well,
say if there's
3
It's
feet's
what?
not that,
3 feet's not high.
I'm 5 feet. So
Yeah,
3 feet.
so it's right
It's not,
there.
it's not that
Yeah, it's
high.
not.
And the wheelbarrows are not too high off the
and
ground.
I mean,
feel
if it
like.
did become like an issue where it was too hard, like we could, maybe there's like you could open it and kind of push yours in. Also, Richard had a cool, he said on their farm, there's like, if you put PVC pipes in the middle of these cylinders with holes, that really helps, and then you don't even have to turn it that much, so that would,
Mm.
be an
The water would
improvement. Yeah.
break down.
So that's all ideas, talk with your friends about this, if anyone at the workday is like excited about it. This could be cool to set up somewhere. I even asked Ava, I was like, could we pay someone to run this for a year for us and help us get organized around it? And that is not what the grant would help fund. So
I ask what personnel costs.
no, unfortunately. So that's that on that. And then we'll try to do this fast. I don't want to rush it too much. I have the meeting running till 8:15. But right now, Easthampton has so much going on. We're like so much gossip and politics to sift through all the time, especially right now. So everyone's talking about the big vote next week. But after that, there's like another big thing with the property next to us. There's, I think, just the 2 offers on that. It's like, they're not buying the land, but it's, somehow through the city, there are like offers of who would get to use and deal with that land. And one of them is the Veterans Farm Initiative. And Heather, who is not, she's not part of the Veterans Farm Initiative. She's part of this, my God, I'm just totally flopping. A regenerative project. They would be the owners who then worked with the nonprofit that was using the land, which is the Veterans Farm. So, they had put in an offer because they had been approached by some of the neighbors about the property. And so they wondered if the community garden would write and sign a letter of support for their organization in purchasing the land. The only thing I know that has come up against this was what Karen had brought up. There'd just been an article written about the current people using that land want to buy that land. And so that's sort of like guess just like the hot button issue right now is, do we want to support this organization? Or would we rather just like take our hands off? I do feel like, I know part of the hesitance when we talked about it last time was like, they're definitely trying to connect with us to help sell themselves to the community. I will say they really did help out. And part of what they said is like, they would help us out consistently and that they would promise to build us like an outhouse if we wanted, or, just like do like all these things, like, move the compost pile again, like, just like do yearly volunteer with us, or, these things, these promises that if they happened would be pretty vital. But I do understand the hesitance. It's like, it could be all talk. I mean, they did show up. And when I said it's going to rain that day, we should probably cancel, they said, no, we're still going to come do it.
Right, but they want you to sign that document.
Yes. So I guess like, Heather would love to come like meet with us to answer questions and like, just like talk some more. But before that, I just wanted to make sure like we talked about it, so that we like, made her time more efficient and like had like, did people have questions outside of, did you look at the website? Were
Right.
things answered?
Do they have a website?
Yeah, I think I included it in the first announcement email, but,
Check it out.
Are they farmers?
so, the Veterans Farm Initiative is, and this would be their first campus project.
But they're not, they're just associated with the group that would be buying it.
Yes, the group that would be buying it is the, we're gonna look this up. What is it called? Heather's thing is called.
Yeah,
Label.
this is a new chapter. This is a new project.
Well, right, okay,
That's
so
what
let
they
me just
said.
make sure I'm saying all the words correctly before I wish Google's email threads functioned differently so that I could look through the thread without having to open all 49
Yeah, it does
messages. It's
suck.
like insane. They're putting so much time and effort into Gemini. It's like, could you just actually make this work in a more normal way? No problem. Great. Okay, renewal initiatives. So renewal initiatives is a entity that can buy property. They're local, they can do that. So they would be buying the property, and with the nonprofit Veterans Farm Initiative, Veterans Farm Initiative would make it their campus. So I think it's like, if I understand it correctly, it would be a like subletting kind of situation where it's like this one, let me just open the FAQs and like do a good job here.
There's a lot of promises, a lot of pie in the sky in the documents, and not a very much factual
It
information.
does, I guess I
supporting
would
it.
disagree. There's, this whole website has tons of information on it.
Well, it has what they want to do, what they say they'll do for us, but they're not listing who the people are. They're not listing,
What is the specific people, or what does that mean?
what does that mean? Who is the actual group who will own it? Who are the people? What are their qualifications? Are they capable of implementing all these programs? They're talking about aligning with 3 organizations, but they're not saying how much money, what projects these are going to be doing. I'm not saying that they
No,
can't do it.
I'm just trying to actually have all those questions you just said, like something that you could be answered. So I want the questions to be a little bit more, if I
And-
can write them down, if we can work
Concise.
through them a little
Yeah.
slower.
Okay.
Because
Well, they
what it
have
says
questions
here-
on here that the community's asking.
exactly.
But like they say, well, they've contacted the Chickwins 3 times, but they didn't say what the Chickwins answers were. Like, it doesn't sound like the Chickwins are agreeing to what they're proposing.
They're not.
So then
Yeah.
it's not a good deal for the Chickwins.
It doesn't, it seems like they would rather own the land. Yeah. But that aside, that's true. There's tension between the people who use it and this organization.
Maybe I missed this, Sarah, but who decides if they take over the project? Like, is it the city?
I'm pretty sure
like, when they say they want a letter of support, who do we submit that letter to? Because it sounds like at the end of the day, like, we don't really have to evaluate that because someone else is making the decision. They just want to know, like,
Right.
do we think it's a cool idea or not?
Yeah, but if we give a letter of recommendation, we are in essence voting against the Chicklins.
I don't
I guess
know,
that-
I
I
don't know
think
anything about the
the
Chicklins. I don't know
Chicklins
anything
have
about.
lived
So are they gonna be
farm
by making it their
for
campus, are
generations?
they
Totally, I don't-
And they're currently
Hold on,
working
everybody's-
the land.
Okay. All right, so here's,
And
okay.
maybe they-
Can I can I ask a very basic question
Of course.
before
Yeah.
we even
Yeah.
debate who?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we're an extension of the city, basically, right? Okay, so, and the city's selling this land? How is
Yes.
it, okay, so if they're selling this land and we're an extension of the city, can we even
Yeah, it's not
show
appropriate.
favor either way? To me, it doesn't seem like it's
Yeah.
ethical to do that.
Okay, so I'm
It
gonna
seems
email
like
Heather
we're
that.
already stretched thin trying to figure out compost. I'm like, do we want to spend energy learning about a project that
It's not.
Yeah,
ours.
the city should have vetted all of this anyway.
Yeah, that's
Well, good
it's a basic,
I
I
guess,
mean,
I think,
that would be like, well, the clerk thinks that this group should get it, and the Conservation Commission thinks that group should get it. And I don't think I don't think this is technically even the right thing to do to recommend
No.
one way or the other because of we represent the city.
Yeah, I think.
That,
we should
I mean, this is where
abstain
Stephen
from
would be
this.
great to have here, actually.
um,
I'm just throwing that out there because it's something that we should
Well, we're
try to
always saying
understand.
go local, and here we would be supporting an outside group against a local farmer's family that has been there for generations using that land. That just is not compatible with what
Well,
we've been
they've
saying.
been using a portion of the land. I
Yeah.
think that's what's tough is we're talking about like, they've been using it kind of on the side because the house was abandoned as like, it was a former, the history,
Well,
like a
the
poorhouse
town
and then,
decided to close it down.
yes, and the organization that had been there before, like, kind of was sort of a low income housing organization even after the poor farm, existed. And what I heard from the neighbors is that it was a really wonderful place where a lot of the people there living like weren't in the best conditions, but like did make it a pretty like beautiful spot. And then that organization that the city had allowed to own and rent it just like evicted everyone and shut down. So it was kind of the neighbors of this property are the ones who reached out to the Veterans Coalition to have something more like sustaining happen with like the house aspect of it, like the physical building. And so this is why it's coming up with tension is there's all this land surrounding it. And the farmers who've been using that land to the side don't want, it's what you brought up last time. They would still be allowed to use that portion of the land, but because this is a sustainable, not organic, but quasi-organic farming operation, it would mean they'd have to comply with that. And that's sort of where the tension is it's not that they'd be kicked off. It's just that they'd be asked to farm differently.
Well, and also it says in here that they're only offering them a 3-year possible
Yeah.
lease.
Yeah, totally. For the entire project. Yeah.
For their using the land. Yeah.
Okay. I do think it's good. I'll just like definitely message Heather right off to say, is there concern that we're like associated with the city anyways? Because that might just be something they hadn't really considered. I do think I feel like a little confused because Ava's the one who told me to contact Heather. So I do feel like the city was pretty confident that this is just what was going to happen until the Chicklins like found out and then decided they didn't want that to be what happened. So I think that's like kind of the new tension is just around this family's wanting to keep farming that portion the way they have been. which again, I do feel weird voting against, but I also, you know,
In an ideal world, if this place could fulfill all those many, many, many promises they're making, it would be a utopia. But I don't see any evidence that they can really follow through on that at this point.
I guess just because it's the first time they've done like a housing farm
Yeah,
operation.
but I mean, they're talking about lots of things, community events, they're telling you, oh, we'll come over and help you guys out. That's a lot of organization and skill and financial resources, and they're new.
They're
You know,
not,
it's
the Veterans Farm Coalition is not.
not, but the group that would be running this is.
The group, no. The Veterans Farm Coalition is running it, but it's this new, the project itself would be new. And it would be like, they had to create, what it looks like is Renewal Initiatives is a nonprofit created to maintain the town lodging house, but they're not new at running.
Yeah, but the
this
farm
program.
veteran, blah, blah, they're not owning it. These other people are owning it,
Yeah,
which changes the dynamic.
okay.
So, and I'm just concerned, if I don't think we should do a letter because we shouldn't be basically voting against a local family anyway. So, and if, as a group of the Easthampton government, we shouldn't be showing partial. But other than that,
Does anyone else have any feelings about it?
I mean, I would just like to know a lot more about what they're gonna do. And again, I just feel weird endorsing anybody if this is being sold by the city
It
and
seems,
we're part of the city.
seems easier to take a passive approach to it. And then if they go through with it, I think that's a great opportunity to build a relationship.
Yeah, then you engage with them, I just, that's, I mean, that may be something even for the town lawyer. Just a quick question is like, and just approach them and say, look, well, not approach them, say, we've been approached by an organization that would like our endorsement because they want to buy this property, but we're part of the city. Is that even ethical?
I'm trying to make sure it's not
could we
like
get
on
ourselves in
here.
hot water doing that? And I would really prefer at this point to not take a stand on anything and get a lot more information. Because the Chicoins, they've got their own ideas too. I'd like to see all this public somewhere.
I'll see it.
Because I read the article in the paper.
Okay.
But it wasn't, it gave some general ideas and details, but it wasn't.
yeah, I mean, Easthampton should be doing background information about.
I mean, there should be,
I
they
guess
should have
I would
something on
say
the website about all
my,
this, I guess.
I have less concerns over the validity of the organization. I feel like meeting all of them and talking to all of them, these are people who've been doing this for a long time. I had no question that they could like build and run and feasibly, like Richard is one of the people who would move out here to like be the person who lived at the building and like, was like the property manager for like the people living there. And like, he's gonna move his whole family here to do that. And it just seemed like a bunch of people who like, I don't know, I'm not a veteran, but I feel like they seemed like they were like, we're used to just like going and moving and doing things, and getting stuff done. And, it was pretty like, I felt like I had confidence that whatever they did would be interesting. And probably like, probably pie in the sky, some of the ideas, but I don't think it would be like trouble housing and running like a building with a small farm project. But I think you're right. The larger issue is the conflict. Like, do we want to make a commentary against one of our neighbors?
It
Like
might
that
not
makes
be a good
sense.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ruffle
but I mean,
feathers,
even the
knowing how
detail of,
Politics end up in
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
city,
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
just say, we're so sorry. We love the
I-
idea.
At this time,
I
we
do think
can't.
the idea is great and they could
Yeah.
be a great partner, but it's risky upsetting people in the town.
put
Putting
it
it
up.
aside.
Yeah, there's no background, there's no track record of what they've done or what they do. It's all proposed for the future. And, they're gonna say all the right words to get you to,
Yeah.
I just think it's putting us in an awkward position.
Yeah.
I think that might be the best thing to say, because I did
Yeah.
feel like some of the people who came were the 3 different neighbors who lived next to that property, who had, one of them was the person who like made the call to this organization. And I think I'm kind of worried, if I'm being honest, about ruffling their feathers too by not. So it's like, we're kind of like, I don't think by not doing anything, we're avoiding upsetting people. So that's sort of like the hesitance in my brain, but,
well, you could say it's something to think about in the future.
or just that we don't feel like ready to like sign a letter, but like
We're ready to build a relationship.
we
if you
really
come.
value
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
time. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we owe them a letter just because they volunteered. I think it was a good investment
Yeah.
of their time, because
Yeah,
like, if they get the spot, like, they're gonna have the relationship with us.
Yeah.
But I don't think we owe them a letter, and it sounds like collectively there's not enough like yes to move it forward.
Do you guys feel like Heather's been pretty persistent about wanting to like come to a meeting? I've been kind of avoiding it because I knew we mostly had like a lot we just needed to discuss. I'm like, should I have her just not worry about coming? Probably for now.
Well, is this open to the public?
This meeting in general, like this, like,
I mean, it's
Yeah.
public comment at the beginning.
Yeah.
You could come in, but
I mean, she totally could. Yeah, but I guess like, so she could, but should I tell her like,
Put her
don't
on the agenda.
prioritize it, kind of, yeah, put her
I
on
don't
the
think
agenda.
having a presentation is worth her
Necessary.
effort and a bit of time, use of our time.
Cool, okay. I do feel bad I'm the only one who's interfaced with her, and I'm like, she's really nice, but really chill.
There's a lot of nice people.
But,
just to tell
Not
her
enough
that.
hours in the day.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Well, so the next meeting then is, why do I do? I just didn't update that at all. Okay, no, it's like, well, it's annoying because also my stupid little poster had like most of the dates wrong, but.
I love that little poster.
Well, I had to redo it because someone pointed out that like half the dates were wrong. I was like,
Oh,
oh
no.
yeah, I just like forgot to, but the
July-
new
Oh,
one,
one of them
July
was
2nd.
a Saturday.
the new, yeah, one of them was a Saturday. The new one, the latest email is correct, but it's like, I put it on the Instagram, but nobody. Okay, so I think we're fine.
There's the Instagram.
There is an Instagram. I update it like really rarely. It's the 2nd and I have it as the 3rd, so I have to edit this again. God dang it. Okay, so July 3rd.
July 3rd or 2nd?
No, it'd be second.
2nd, what in the hell? July 2nd. And if you hear of anyone, or you have anyone you'd like to email me that I should approach about being the chair, let me know. I really do need July or August to be my last meeting. But I would like to prepare someone and not just, deuces on this. So, if you think of anybody we should ask, or if you start thinking about it and you're like,
Someone to do it on an interrupted basis just to get through the season.
yeah.
Would the extension service have anyone who might work with us about the compost piles?
Extension service or,
Extension service is that thing over at UMass.
oh, to see if they would, yeah, that's a great idea. Okay,
I also have one more question.
Yeah.
It's going way back. Did we deal with the ramp at all yet?
no, sorry, that was on the agenda.
Oh.
It also didn't, I was like, it's not that bad, when I was up there
It
last.
was just one
Yeah.
slat that needs to be replaced.
I have
If you have
some-
extra wood for some reason after building.
I'm not gonna
No,
have it.
okay, sorry, the
Sorry.
math is too
I-
perfect,
I have
okay.
some rough cut stuff.
Okay.
that I
You can
salvaged.
get some scrap wood over at the coffin factory.
You can give them a
Oh,
piece,
man.
nice piece of mahogany.
Interesting.
You
Interesting.
can get scraps.
You can get nice pieces of wood there. I have
Uh,
a pencil box that, I know a woodworker who goes and gets scraps there. He made a really cool pencil box. It's mahogany, it's nice.
Yeah.
I have some scrap wood, I just need to remember to go and do it, so.
but I'm trying to see, is there not a meeting for this, I don't really understand, but okay, great, no problem. All right, anything else? I'm gonna move to end the meeting. Second motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.